All right, y'all, so we got some more possible giant sightings, this time Siberia. Let's check it out.
It's a weapon of terror against the Israelites.
There were various other big creatures in our ancestors' world, and Bigfoot might just be one category which somehow has been able to survive.
The U.S. and Russia, the two countries share at least one thing: frequently reported alien encounters.
Ultimately, they stumble across this strange 3-foot creature lying in the snow.
Incredible claim by a respected Oxford researcher. He says he has proof that the Yeti, the abominable snowman of the Himalayas, is in fact real, and its descendants are alive.
Be it spooky giants or creatures in the dark, there exists a wide number of inhabitants of the vast icy land that are starting to reveal themselves more often than before. Join us today to get to see some of them that would otherwise go unnoticed until they passed before a trail camera. Snow-capped.
Before we start though, what if some of these things we're seeing, and this is just something I was thinking about as I was watching the introduction of this video, what if some of the things we're seeing are species that we've never seen before? This could be a new wave of species that we're coming across and seeing for the first time that we may now have to deal with. That could be the situation we're possibly in too.
There's a person standing there.
No, it's not!
Dude, if you seen what I've seen right now.
Driving alongside a snow-capped mountain range when one of the two friends spotted something odd on a distant peak. He zoomed in and saw a humanoid figure standing there. Naturally, curiosity kicked in, and he asked his friend to pull over for a closer look.
No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
When this footage hit the internet, it caused quite a stir. Some people freaked out, while skeptics shrugged it off as an illusion. But believers insisted it was a mountain giant, given how human-like it appeared. So what do you think? Was it just a camera glitch? Or are legends living atop these peaks? Share your thoughts down below. Sasquatch or Yeti?
Oh my God! Oh!
In 1996, mountain climbers traversing the Himalayan mountains in Nepal encountered what they believed to be a Yeti while ascending to the summit. This sighting is considered authentic, primarily due to the creature's unusually long arms compared to a human's. Carrying such a bulky, form-fitting costume to these snowy heights for a hoax would be an incredible feat. In sub-zero temperatures, deep snow, and frequent avalanches, this is no place for frivolity. The seriousness of this terrain is underscored by the hundreds who have perished on Mount Everest, the highest peak in the Himalayan range.
Oh my God! Oh!
Hostility. Yetis are known for being hostile towards humans, and this footage proved it. A hiker was nearing the peak when he heard a terrifying noise. He grabbed his camera and started recording.
Let's just say this. No human being I know would be that dumb enough. If that's a Yeti, be that dumb enough to get that close. I don't care how much you think you're gonna get for the footage. You think you're gonna get that close and survive and live to tell about it? I said this, that I know. I ain't saying that it ain't no crazy dumb people out there that wouldn't get that close. They would. They absolutely would. I'm just saying nobody I know would be dumb enough to get that close, bro. You too close to that joker, fam. If he catch you, it's over.
And captured a huge Yeti growling and devouring its prey. The man, hiding behind what he thought was a safe spot, accidentally made a noise. And the Yeti spotted him and charged toward him, holding its prey. At this moment, he thought it was his last moment. But just as it was about to strike, the Yeti slipped, tumbling down the snowy slope into the valley below. And luckily, the climber got its life back. Zombifying man.
There's some cruisers, man.
Chatting with random strangers who appear possessed or zombified might seem daring until they start getting closer. This footage, captured in September 2021, on the outskirts of Browning, Montana, shows two friends driving when they encountered a strange man. The way this creature of a man approached the car would prompt anyone to leave immediately. Additionally, if you look closely, it appears his neck was twisted, adding to his bizarre posture.
Just some cruisers, man.
Bigfoot.
Every time I see that clip, I take something new from it. But I still believe that Joker is the guy off of Pet Cemetery. Somebody buried him out in the Pet Cemetery and he came back, and that's what he looked like, fam, minus the blood leaking out of him. That's what that dude is.
Hunter. In September 2012, Rick Dyer, a Bigfoot tracker from San Antonio, Texas, claimed to have captured a Bigfoot using a trap baited with deer urine and pork ribs hung from a tree.
Got deer urine and pork ribs, and I hung the pork ribs on a tree.
He reported that the creature appeared in the middle of the night to feast, at which point he ambushed and killed it. Dyer described the frozen body as 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and weighing 800 pounds. However, an autopsy revealed no signs of bullet wounds, and the purported location of the capture raised further suspicions about the authenticity of his claim. Steep Snow Walker.
There's something wandering across the face of that.
With the snow being very soft and the mountain quite steep, it would be quite a challenge for even the best of the best to walk so casually. On January 31st, 2024, a snow surfer in Wasatch Mountain Peak was readying to surf and was looking around for a possible avalanche when he spotted something moving past the steep snow mountain, working its way upwards. Despite having to use the best available binoculars at the spot, the only view that he was able to witness and document was this.
There's something wandering across the face of that.
An expert mountain wildlife who happened to be on the spot for vacation commented that all of the animals he has ever known or came across, nothing looked or moved like this.
There's something wandering across the face of that.
Demonic alien. The exact nature of this human-faced being remains a topic of heated discussion, with theory.
Face looks like the devil. I don't actually know what the devil looked like, but all the pictures and different things that people assumed he looked like, this face looks like that to me.
Ranging from alien to demon. A random Instagram upload that quickly went viral left many netizens speculating about the creature's origin. Some believe it to be a real jinn, demon, or alien, while others suggest it might be a reptilian hybrid. Amidst the speculation, more realistic theories propose that it's simply a person with extensive tattoos and body modifications, acting bizarrely to enhance their strange appearance. Perhaps it's just someone in need of a bath and lotion. Furry snow demon. A group of young mountaineers who had set up a base camp for the night in Nepal, where one of them spotted this terrifying-looking furry snow demon sneaking up to them. It had glowing red eyes that were shining in the dark and had silky white fur very similar to that of the mountain goats. Aside from suspiciously looking over the recorder and their camp, it kept calm and didn't make any sudden or aggressive moves. Apart from the obvious intimidation, it certainly didn't want to take any risks either. Hidden tree-line giant. It's not just the watchful eye of the stranger, but also the gigantic inhabitants of the forest that could be plotting against you. Several families living by the wilderness areas close to Ontario, Canada, were enjoying their weekend skiing until some of the parents spotted a dark giant that was hiding behind a tree line on an upper ground and was watching over them. Instead of panicking and immediately attempting to flee the area with their children, they decided to play it cool and to withdraw from the area slowly. Though the footage gets cut off abruptly, this giant was said to have disappeared moments later. Michigan Forest Sasquatch. Seems like these gentle giants are all over the place. Visitors at Fort Wilkins, Michigan, spotted this Sasquatch that seemed to be much smaller than usual sightings. It appeared to be walking past the tree line, which, upon getting spotted, it halted and immediately sat down facing the recorder. Now, this wasn't an attempt of it trying to evade by blending in, rather a kind of face-off challenge. To avoid the risk of any sort of confrontation, the source cut off the video and left the area. Suspected Sasquatch.
An elusive creature.
The fact that this creature miserably failed at camouflaging itself suggests it is an inexperienced juvenile, a driver in the Arizona desert.
I'm laughing because I swear that joker's sitting down to use the bathroom, fam. I swear he is. And he probably just wants some, you know what I mean, some privacy.
This unknown figure casually walking until it realized it was being watched. It immediately halted upon noticing the watchful eye of the recorder and desperately attempted to hide itself using the environment.
Creature. I just squatted.
Using its fur, identical in color to the dried desert shrubs, it minimized its visibility. If it had been a person, it would have definitely begged for a ride out of the scorching desert heat. Shaking forest trees. A Reddit user that was on a hiking trail in the wilderness of British Columbia, Canada, where he noticed something very unusual. He noticed several pine trees over half a mile away that seemed to be shaking around vigorously. Now, unless it were someone or something gigantic, pulling large pines like this wouldn't be possible. Now, this could be either a giant humanoid or perhaps even a yeti must have been shaking trees, looking for something to feed on. With the hilly terrain covered in snow, the source was not able to make out exactly what it was.
Come on, man. That's one of them people out there cutting the trees down. And you see the evidence all over the ground right here. See all these logs stacked up? That lets you know what they're up there doing. Like, you see the logs stacked up over here? So I would assume, because what other reason would a Bigfoot just be up there just hurling trees for? What is he doing? Like, what is he building? You know what I mean? If that's the case, then I'll gladly come back and say, yo, I was wrong.
Wild encounter. Drone footage is usually super cool, but sometimes things get seriously scary. That's exactly what happened to these Russian guys. They were flying their drone in the wilderness, hoping for some epic shots. The drone pilot decided to fly down into the woods for a closer look at the scenery. But instead of trees and streams, the drone caught something else. His friend was sprinting through the forest, screaming with a massive bear hot on his claws. As the drone zipped past the bear, it turned and gave this look like, "You're next." What happened to those guys is still a mystery.
First of all, if you think you are outrunning a bear, you're sadly mistaken. I don't care how fast you think you are. If you ain't Usain Bolt, you probably don't have a chance of beating this bear. Let's just say it. Don't let that weight on the bear and him looking big and everything like that fool you. No, they can move.
Fingers crossed, let's hope they made it out okay. Snowbound mystery. Hearing strange sounds while climbing a snow peak. That's what happened to one climber who couldn't resist checking it out. As he approached, he noticed something eerie hidden in the snow. A creature that looked like an alien, peering right back at him. And let me tell you, this wasn't any usual wildlife. It had an otherworldly appearance, making him question if it was an alien, an unknown creature, or even a ghost. Before the thing could make any move, the climber decided to back off for his life. Wise move. Now, the question is, what was the thing? I think the reality is hidden back on that hilltop. The Rake. Exploring the wilderness in the dark, you never know what might be lurking out there. That's exactly what this group of friends found out. While exploring, they came across a small swamp. Something was moving in the shallow water, and then it emerged. It was a skinny, pale humanoid creature covered in mud from head to toe. Its super pale skin still stood out, and it definitely didn't look human. Some thought it was a skinwalker, or maybe even the cryptid known as the Rake. Whatever this thing was, it's definitely not something from this planet. What do you think? Drop your thoughts below. Giant mystery. Giants had been hidden from our eyes for centuries, but now, thanks to some hikers in Brazil, we've got them on the reel. These hikers were on a casual stroll along the mountains when they spotted something strange on a hilltop. Zooming in, they were stunned to see towering giants standing there. One of those massive beings was surveying the area, giving the all clear, and then the others started coming down. Skeptics quickly said, "Just tall humans." But come on, humans don't grow that big. So what were they? Some believe these giants have been hiding in the mountains all along. Whether you're a believer or not, one thing's certain: this footage was a giant mystery, waiting to be solved. Sneaking alien dinosaurs. Judging from their body language, it almost seems like they thought they could seek their way out after perpetrating a mischief. In July 2020, a video was posted showing two bizarre-looking creatures.
Why look like they tiptoeing like they trying to sneak somewhere?
Running through a snow-covered forest road. They resembled the xenomorphs from the Alien movies, sparking speculation about their origin. Could it be that they are real and that their spaceship landed on Earth? Since both the picture and video were uploaded by an unknown source, details about these creatures remain a complete mystery. What do you think of these extraterrestrial beings? Share your thoughts in the comments. Brodsky's Riddle. The residents of the Brodsky settlement thought they stumbled upon an extraterrestrial mystery when they spotted what looked like a tiny alien lying in the snow. This 2-foot-tall humanoid, seemingly feminine, caught the attention of internet users after being captured on a phone camera. But hold on before assuming something. Turns out it was all a hoax. When the police investigated, they found no trace of any alien presence. Instead, they uncovered a group of young pranksters who had crafted a figure from a dome and chicken skin, fooling everyone into believing it was the real deal. So while the liars won't face any punishment, their prank certainly left us all shocked. Ran away alien. Apart from an outright confrontation to an awkward stare, the chances of an alien running away were never thought of. Another hunter was scanning through the forest when his paths unexpectedly crossed with this alien figure that was walking around as if it owned the area. Upon spotting each other at the same time, the hunter remained calm and made no sudden movements, though the alien turned around to run almost immediately. As a result, the hunter decided to chase it down, probably out of curiosity. The alien was either scared or just was told not to run in with a human. However, the hunter being armed with a powerful weapon could also be the reason. Unknown forest beast. The nature of a beast such as this could best be described as a put-together of a spooky black bear and a wolf. A hunter, while in search of a catch, found and tracked the footprints of a buck that led him towards this one-of-a-kind looking forest beast animal. It was hidden under a thick bush of drying branches. and also seemed to be in a hunting mode, walking at a slow pace and closing in for the catch. The fact that deer footprints left him to this, we can pretty much know it ate the deer and still seemed to be hungry. The nature of this beastly animal remains a mystery. Skinwalker or rake? Moments like these show that wild animals aren't the only ones that you have to be concerned about being alone in the wild. An Instagram reel dating to November 2023 showed a tall, yet skinny human figure walking past a trail camera just a couple of meters away. Netizens from all over arrived to a conclusion that this was either the rake or the skinwalker, since it matched the description of both of them. The camera was placed by an Airbnb user that was looking to put his countryside cabin house on rent for the oncoming Christmas holidays. Mysterious holler. For a sound this broad and profound, the source must be either a giant or a Bigfoot hidden deep in the woods. A trucker parked at an Oregon rest stop along Route 97 was startled by loud, eerie howling emanating from the nearby woods. The nature of the noises suggested a source larger and more powerful than any known animal, instilling fear. Additional drivers and nearby gas stations also reported hearing these unsettling sounds. Fueled by local legends of giant gorilla-like creatures in the area, many speculate that these roars are the vocalizations of a Bigfoot or a similar elusive being. Under the fall. A lady was enjoying a beautiful waterfall in Brazil when something unexplainable happened. Recording the falls, suddenly a humanoid figure appeared in the water. It seemed like it was there to enjoy the view. But once it noticed her and the camera, it quickly retreated. She kept recording, hoping for another glimpse. And sure enough, the creature peeked out again, checking if she was gone. Seeing she was still there, it vanished back into the water and never reappeared. When this footage hit the internet, people went wild. Some were convinced it was real, while skeptics called it a clever edit. But experts analyzed the video and deemed it legit. So what do you think was going on?
And the comment said that did we think it was Bigfoot? I don't know. I never thought of Bigfoot being in some rapids or whatever you want to call this, waterfall or whatever. I never thought of that, but maybe we need to think about what could lie underneath that water that we can't obviously see what's on the other side of it. Might be something we need to think about.
Crossing. Two Russian truck drivers cruising along a snowy road when suddenly they spotted something massive crossing their path. Something that looked an awful lot like a yeti. Both of them saw it clear as day and wasted no time in speeding up to check out the scene. But when they arrived, there was nothing in sight. When this video hit the internet, it stirred up quite a debate. Some netizens believed their claim, while others claimed it was just a slick edit job. But if we look closely, we can actually see footprints left behind by the creature. So what was the deal? Yeti or clever hoax? Drop your thoughts below. Hillock. A social media user claimed to have captured footage of a giant roaming in the wild. The video showed an abnormally large figure perched on a distant hill, clocking in at around 7 to 9 feet tall. This thing appeared to be floating at times. But here's where it got interesting. Trucks passing by gave a sense of scale, emphasizing just how massive this figure must be. At first, viewers weren't entirely convinced it was real, until they watched the other part of the video, in which the creature could be seen moving, which sparked the debate whether it was trickery of light, green screen, or a real deal. Subspecies morphing.
Unique in the eyes
Unlike the curious case of Benjamin Button, this one rather seems to be more weirdly interesting and real. This video that was spinned around social media after getting viral, showing what looks to be a college professor who somehow morphed into looking like an ape. With the video being uploaded by an anonymous source, no further information about it was shared. Now, this could have been a case of experimentation going extremely well, or completely went sideways. The morphing professor was never seen anything before or after this recording, which makes it seem like a case of secret government experimentation.
Unique in the eyes of God.
See, I kept saying that. When they made Planet of the Apes, I kept saying, man, this movie has got to be somebody trying to tell us something without telling us something. Maybe somewhere there's an ape in captivity somewhere or being held in some type of laboratory that somebody happened to see speak. And this is their way of telling us without them, you know what I mean? Without them coming out and just outright saying it. This was their way of doing it. I kept saying, I was like, man, do y'all think that possibly there's an ape somewhere in this world in a laboratory that is speaking plain English?
Frozen legend.
If that creature was coming at you, you would do the same thing.
In September 2018, a man uploaded a video showing a massive frozen beast tied in ropes. He claimed his hunter father took down a group of these giant creatures in 1953.
And my dad said the thing went ape shit and started, trying to hit everybody, grabbing stuff, and they couldn't control it, so they had no other option but to use the knife.
After being attacked by them. In an act of defense, his father decided to bring one of the bodies back home. He placed it in an underground bunker, where it stayed frozen until 2018. This beast weighed over 300 pounds and had massive hands and feet, making it a real-life frozen legend. The internet went wild. Some called it a clever hoax, while many believed his story. So what do you think? Was this a case of an incredible frozen legend, or just an elaborate trick? Gondola cable.
Investigators believe that the suspect is extremely fit, knows the area well, and had specific knowledge about what tools to use.
A shocking event occurred in 2019 when someone cut down the sea-to-sky gondola cables. And police didn't find a single clue who did that until in 2022. The authorities released the thermal images of the supposed culprit. But here's where things got wild. The footage went viral and people were stunned. This entity wasn't human. It was way too big, dwarfing any normal person. Some even tossed around the idea of giants lurking in the area. So what was the deal? Are we dealing with legendary creatures, or is there a more rational explanation? Let's just hope the authorities find out the true identity of the creature. Until then, it's a mystery for the ages. Mountaintop Bigfoot. It's almost surprising how a giant like Bigfoot can make it up to extremely steep and isolated high-rise mountain terrain. Construction workers in Acapulco, Mexico were working on repairing an old bridge by the countryside road until one of them noticed a giant furry figure that, according to him, was watching them. Thinking it was just curiously watching them, some of the crew members on the ground believe it was under the impression of its territory being invaded, especially since the bridge was part of a small town construction plan. Let's hunt. If you see footprints outside your home, keep your eyes open. But if you find footprints this big, then you should probably leave that place. A man in Albany, Kentucky heard strange noises outside his home. Grabbing his torch and a camera, he went to investigate. What he found was straight out of legend. Massive footprints leading away from his shelter, as if something huge had escaped after surveying the area. Naturally, he posted the footage online, and people went wild. They suggested he should leave immediately, believing the prints belonged to a yeti, known to be hostile to humans. What happened next remains a mystery. Let's just hope he listened to the advice. The Skinwalker. Somewhere in Russia in the middle of the night, shocking footage hit the internet. A CCTV camera caught this super creepy humanoid creature. Thin legs, skinny arms, walking in this bizarre, unsettling way. But here's the best part. It stopped and looked directly into the camera, like it was staring right into your soul. The internet went wild. Some people said it was just a skinny guy messing around.
Your skinny, drunk Uncle Pete, that's who that is.
But the thing is, it was freezing out there, way below zero. Who was going to be out there shirtless? But many others whispered about skinwalkers, whether it was a prank or something out of a nightmare. One thing's for sure, that footage had a serious chill factor. Extraterrestrial animal. It appears that not all the beasts from Doom are purely fictional. This one, however, looks not that scary. A university student in Russia shared footage from September 2022 showing a chameleon-like reptile that resembled a crossbreed with a frog. The creature was perched on the narrow end of a branch, curiously looking around before disappearing, just outside of his hostel apartment. While it didn't exhibit any aggressive behavior, its potential to be poisonous remains uncertain. To this day, the nature of this mysterious reptile remains unexplained, though many are convinced that it's not even of this world. Meditating monk. It's either the rock-solid patience or extreme adaptability that is at play here. A footage dating back to the early days of December showed a monk that was barely dressed and was in the midst of meditation. It was a patrol of Indian Army personnel in the Himalayas that spotted him sitting peacefully in the cold, freezing snow. While most Indians claim this to be a normal behavior of these monks, other viewers were rather surprised. If you don't freeze to death in such an environment, there is almost a certain chance of having a terrible frostbite. Slender Man. What could be the possible explanation for this? A local Vietnamese man, a day of farming, stumbled upon something bizarre. He noticed movement on a distant hilltop, but it was too faint to see with the naked eye. So, grabbed his camera and zoomed in. There was a creepy-looking slender figure doing what appeared to be push-ups. The footage was brief, but it spread like fire and sparked debates left and right. Some locals swore it was the infamous giant Slender Man making an appearance, while others insisted it was all just a clever edit. So what's your take on this mystery? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Slimy mystery.
Gross. Gross. Oh, weird. What if it's like a disease?
Two guys were out filming the landscapes of Utah when suddenly they spotted something bizarre. Numerous dots arranged in a strange pattern. Out of curiosity, one of them even poked at it and described it as weirdly slimy.
Oh, did you see it?
Slimy?
Yeah.
Even up close, the true nature of these mysterious objects remains elusive. They threw the footage online, and the internet lost its collective mind. Some suggested those were the alien eggs, while others insisted it was evidence of a close encounter of the third kind. But hold on, upon the investigation, it was revealed those were not extraterrestrial at all, just an art project by a student from Brigham Young University. One-eyed elderly. What's shocking about this is that it neither seems to be a case of mutation nor deformation. An explorer filmed and shared this clip of an elderly who only had a single eye that seemed to be naturally placed in the center of his face. The eye seemed to be placed in the center naturally, with exactly no signs of mutation, deformation, or even any surgical ruling out all these possibilities as well. Humongous entity. They say expressions always tell the truth, and that's certainly the case here in this video. Some locals in Thailand were baffled when they saw a humongous creature walking among the mountains. This creature was so big that the trees below looked like bushes. As this footage surfaced on the internet, people were divided. Skeptics tried to debunk it, calling it a hoax, but the majority believed it was a legit creature. If you listen closely, the screams of the people in the background sound real, pointing toward the authenticity of the clip. Dark Enigma. This video comes from a social media user and has been creeping people out ever since it was published. A local man was surveying his land in the middle of the night at an undisclosed location. The area was filled with bushes and grass. While surveying, he recorded something truly bizarre. An extremely odd-looking creature was wandering around. At first, it didn't seem to notice it was being filmed, but that changed quickly. The creature suddenly charged at the cameraman, causing him to run away in terror. To this day, no one knows exactly what this creature was or what it was doing out there so late at night. Do you have any theories about what this could possibly be? The Yeti. The Yeti is a mythical cryptid supposedly native to the Himalayas, but countries have variations of this beast, often considered a relative of Bigfoot. The Yeti, however, stands out as being depicted as more aggressive and dangerous in local folklore. Recently, a photo of a Yeti was making rounds on the internet. This picture was posted by several media outlets in England and was retweeted thousands of times and sparked a search by ski resort owners. Despite reassurances of no cause for alarm, some believe it was just a person in a costume. So, what do you think? Was it a real Yeti or just a hoax? This picture and video captured on January 13, 2023 might explain why exploring caves randomly is not always a good idea.
I've been saying that for a long time. Like, people just wandering in these caves trying to discover things, which I get. Y'all have come across some great discoveries, but you better be prepared of what you could run up against. I'm gonna continue to be documented saying that. All right, be careful.
An adventure seeker spotted an unknown giant from a distance in a cave in Mexico. Although many believe it to be a Bigfoot, it doesn't quite resemble one. Despite being quite far away, the giant noticed the recorder and his group. Perhaps it didn't appreciate its privacy being violated, making it wise to wait for dark before leaving the area to avoid any potential danger.